Hey guys, and welcome to Year 2 of the Peteytown Piranhas. In this episode, we're going to be looking at our initial recruiting board and then playing UMass and Boston College. Let's go Piranhas! Entering Year 2 of the Peteytown Piranhas, we come in with a 72 team overall. Our best player is Ray Joseph with his 90 overall. And right below him is Victor Snow, our other wide receiver, so this team will definitely be led by their receivers this year. Starting at quarterback for the Piranhas will be sophomore Pete Manning with his 84 overall, and he'll be backed up by Pedro Jarvis. We have a very intriguing halfback room on this team with Pete leading the way and Juju Johnson, and behind them will be Pete A. Caruso. At fullback, we'll have freshman Kane Burr. We've already touched on the wide receivers a little bit with Ray Joseph and Victor Snow, but very intriguing in our slot will be Pete Ackler with his elite development, so we're looking for him to be very productive for us. And right behind him will be Pedro O'Toole. At tight end, Bianca Croning took a big leap forward to become our starting tight end, and behind him will be our John Mackey Award winner Pierre Pete, taking more of a secondary role on this team. At left tackle, we'll have our big transfer guy Logan Howland, backed up by Peter Paluzzi. Left guard will be Peter Peterson, backed up by freshman Ben Hickson with his star development. At center, we have another freshman, Peter Huff, with Peter Mahogany behind him. At right guard, we have returning offensive lineman Peter Pumpkin Eater, and he will be backed up by another freshman, Rashad Lemon. Peter Falk is returning to play right tackle, and Peter Paluzzi will also be backing him up. Now it's time to take a look at the defense, and it's a real youth movement on this side of the ball for us, led by left edge freshman Charles Hardy, who will be backed up by Pedro Andreas. Coming off the right edge will be sophomore Peter Ladagoski, who will be backed up by Peter Jack. The big guys in the middle will be led by Petey McGee, Petruchio DeLucchio, and freshman Nathan Brockermeyer. If you're looking at a position group that will need to be upgraded as we go forward, it's definitely our linebackers. But for now, at the Sam linebacker, we have Pete Millark and Petter Better. Freshman Mike linebacker Anthony Kaufman will lead the way there, and he'll be backed up by Captain Peter. At the will, we have another freshman, Matt Caraway, and King Peter will be behind him. Things get a little better in the secondary with returning Peter Lightning and Pete Mesquite at the corners, and St. Peter will also be in the mix with Pete Mesquite coming out of the slot once again for us. Peter Eris is our best defensive player at 78 overall and star development, and even better, a freshman to boot, while Peter Cottontail will be the backup at this position. Strong safety will be manned by Pete Marks, with Tavarius Watford behind him. Our kicker will be Petey Boy, and punter will be returning guy Peter Slavik. I really wanted to get Juju Johnson and his speed in the mix, so he's going to be our third down running back. Juju will also serve as our power halfback. As far as our rushing defense is concerned, our rushing left end will be Peter Jack and his 11 sacks returning from last year. On the other side of him will be Peter Ladagoski. I also made the move for our rushing defensive tackle to be right edge Spider-Man. Another interesting thing will be Peter Cottontail serving as our sub linebacker along with Pete Millark. Now we can take a look at the schedule that we'll be up against this season. We're going to open against UMass, and we're going to travel to Boston College, and then come back home to face an FCS team. And then we enter Conference USA play with Jacksonville State, Florida International, Middle Tennessee, New Mexico State, Delaware, Sam Houston. Then we go out of conference to play Fresno State. Then we return back to the conference with UTEP, and we end the season against Liberty. Our initial recruiting board has some very interesting prospects on it. We have 5-star Will linebacker Gage Johnson, just to see if we can get a 5-star on the team. Then we have gem Will linebacker Benji Tuau, another gem with cornerback Manny Vick, and Daryl Hollis is also a gem cornerback. And these guys are really interesting. This guy has 93 speed, while Manny Vick has 91 speed. Below those gems are 4-star athlete power rusher Jake Arkin, and another 4-star with Chester McNabb, who's a mic thumper. Our first game of the season will be a home game against UMass, and it'll be a little different this time around because last season we did not have the overall advantage in any game, but opening this season we do have that advantage, as we're 72 overall compared to their 61. So hopefully we can take this one home and start the season off the right way. UMass is going to do a little play action here. He's going to get some pressure and immediately go down as Peter Jack continues his sacking ways from last season to get a sack here and force UMass onto a 3rd and 10. Peter Jack's sack forces UMass to face a 3rd down early in this game. They're going to drop back and look and see what they got, and we hit them, and it falls innocently incomplete. Pete Manning's first pass is going to be a wide open Bianca Croning to get us a 1st down. I'm going to go with a handoff to Juju Johnson, and he gets a nice gain, and he gets the 1st down. Pete Manning's going to do a little RPO, and he gets the slant pass out there to our guy Victor Snow. The sack forces us to have a field goal attempt, and it's going to be no good, as our guy Petey Boy on his first kick just can't put it through. UMass is looking at a 3rd down and 4 here. Our defense does not cover the running back coming out of the backfield, and they move the chains. Play action, and they get a guy right over the middle of the field. He just found the open space in our zones. UMass is going to hit an RPO play, and we just can't get him down in time. They're in our red zone. UMass is going to do an RPO, and absolutely no one is there to stop him, and UMass is going to go up 7-0. Petey Previtt decided not to be bold, so we punted it away to UMass, and they're going to get around our edge to get a 1st down. UMass is going to go with a little RPO, and they juke our guy right out of his shoes to get a big gain. I think our youth across the board is showing right now, as UMass is kind of carving us up right now, and again Pete Marks is caught out of position, and UMass runs right by him. UMass sent a guy in motion when they're looking, and Peter Latagoski is going to get in for his first sack of his career. What a nice moment for him, and it comes at a great time for us as they're going to be facing a 3rd down and 15. 3rd down and 15 for the Minutemen. They're just going to hand it off to their guy and have nowhere to go. They come out for the field goal attempt, and it's going to go straight through the uprights to give them a 10-0 lead. Pete Manning's going to see what he's got, and we're going to get a nice gain here, and that looks like Ray Joseph to give us a big gain. We stretch it out with Pete, who breaks a tackle, and he's going to get the edge and get another 1st down for us. 3rd down and 5 for the Piranhas from the 37-yard line. We're going to look and see what we got, and we're going to find Juju Johnson over the middle of the field on a nice angle route to get us to the 21-yard line. Pete Manning's going to drop back again, and he's going to find on the sideline, that is Pete Ackler with a nice catch. Really need to figure out a way to get into this end zone now after such a nice drive, and we're going to hand it off to Pete, and he's going to do just that to score the 1st touchdown of the season for the Peteytown Piranhas. 3rd down and 3 for UMass. We're showing some pressure. We'll see if it's a disguise. They're sending a guy out in motion, and it is a disguise as we drop back into coverage, but they split our zones anyway in between Peter Lightning and our safety there. 3rd down and 7 here for UMass. They're going to try a deep ball, and we knock it away to force a field goal attempt. They're going to line up the kick here, and it is through the uprights again, and they extend their lead to 13-7. Pete Manning's facing pressure, and he's not going to have time to find anybody as they just overloaded our guy there. 3rd down and 8. It's an empty formation. They bring pressure again, and we're going to throw it up there, and it's open, and he hangs on for the big catch. Pete Ackler with a fantastic play for us to keep our drive moving. On their side of the 50 now with just a little over a minute left in the half, and Pete Manning's going to go down again as they just bum rushed our line and halfback on that one. 2nd down and 17. We're going to run a little RPO, and Bianca Croning's got a lot of room to run. Oh, that's Pierre Pete, excuse me. 3rd down and 8 for the Piranhas. We're going to drop back and survey. He's going to throw a deep ball, and it's hung on to by Ray Joseph. And that's a fantastic play by our transfer wide receiver there to help our quarterback out. 1 timeout remaining with the clock ticking down now. Pete Manning's going to catch, and it's going to be a fantastic throw over their zones, and it's Bianca Croning. Bianca with their first touchdown of the season and the first touchdown pass in the career of Pete Manning as well. Just absolutely accurate ball right over their defenders there, and that'll give us the lead going into the 2nd half after a very slow start for the Peteytown Piranhas. After that sensational drive to end the 1st half, the Peteytown Piranhas open the 2nd half with the ball. And we're going to get a nice little juke move from Pete, and he's got nothing but black turf in front of him, and he breaks another tackle, and he gets us all the way down to the 15-yard line on an absolutely incredible run from Pete. After that sensational run from Pete, we're here on 3rd down and 8. And we're going to hit, but Juju Johnson can't hang on to the ball, so we're going to settle for a field goal. Petey Boy puts it up, and he's going to get his first field goal make of his career, and we're going to extend our lead to 17-13. UMass is going to run a stretch play and absolutely juke out our defender there and get the 1st down. It's 3rd down and 6 here for UMass. They're going to try a pass, and they're going to get it complete just past the 1st down marker. Another 3rd down here for UMass. And they're going to look, and they're going to throw it quickly, and their guy is open for another 1st down. They're going to do an RPO bubble screen and get themselves another 1st down. UMass is going to do a read option, and he's got a lot of room to run. And we get a fumble. It's still out. They pick it up, though, and we finally bring him down on what was a little wacky play there. After that wacky play, UMass is setting up a run, and they split the defense and almost get it in. They get it to the 2-yard line. They're going to send a guy in motion, and they are wide open into the end zone there, and UMass is going to go back on top. Our defense is not helping us out too much in this game, so it's going to be up to Pete Manning and the offense to make something happen, but it's not going to happen here as we go down for a sack. And now we're looking at a 3rd down and 19. Pete Manning's going to drop back and try a deep ball, and we get a nice little stop there by Victor Snow, and they get a flag too, so we might get a 1st down out of this anyway. It's going to be pass interference on the Minutemen, and we get absolutely bailed out with a penalty to get a 1st down here. After that penalty gives us some life, Pete's going to take advantage of it with a nice little juke move to get us to about the 45-yard line and a 1st down. We're going to throw it out, and we're going to get a nice completion of Pete Ackler, who has been really nice for us today, really making key catches. Entering the 4th quarter, the Piranhas are sweating a little bit, and we got a 2nd down and 5 to deal with. And they're going to get another sack on Pete Manning, and they just keep on coming with that pass rush, and our quarterback is just having a really tough time out there, and so is his offensive line. It's 3rd down and 11 here. We're going to drop back. Pete Manning's got some time now, and he's going to find Ray Joseph for a big gain to get us into the red zone. It's 2nd down and 4. We're going to get it out quickly to Pianka Croning, and Pianka's going to sneak his way into the end zone there for his 2nd touchdown of the game to put us back on top in the 4th quarter. After the offense put together a drive, we really need the defense to make a play, and they will, as Peter Jack, Peter Alonso, and Petruchio DeLucchio all come in there to get the sack. He tried to get away from our defenders there, but Petruchio DeLucchio finished it off to make sure he didn't get anywhere. 3rd down and 14 for UMass. We really need a stop here. And we're going to get it because Peter Latagoski is going to come in again and get the sack. The sophomore has really shown his elite development skills here, and he makes a huge play when our defense really needed it the most. After the fantastic stop by the defense, the offense is looking at a 3rd down and 6 here near midfield. We're going to send Juju Johnson in motion. Pete Manning's going to throw deep, and he's going to hit our guy there. Can't quite tell who it is. It looks like Ray Joseph makes the big catch again. Pete Manning's going to find our guy Pete Ackler there to get us to the 12-yard line. Coming out in the I formation, we're going to hand it off. Pete's got the lane he needs. He jukes his way into the end zone to give us that cushion we really needed. Hopefully the defense can build off of the momentum they got from their last drive. And UMass is going to hit a guy wide open. They have another guy open over the middle of the field, and we corral him. This time it's an RPO, and they throw it out quick to get the 1st down. An RPO bubble screen, and they block it up well, and we finally bring them down. Another big run up the middle. Peter Lightning brings him down before he can get any more. The defense, it's on his heels now as UMass is driving down the field, but we're going to get a sack as 3 guys get in on there. It's Peter Latagoski, Peter Jack, and Petruchio DeLucchio making the play. Let's see if our pass rush can come through yet again to try to get them off the field here. And they're going to throw it deep, and their guy makes the jumping catch in front of Peter Lightning, and we're going to give up another touchdown. Of course, they got to go for 2 here. So UMass, they're pointing out some checks here. He's going to drop back, and he's got his running back wide open to get the 2-point conversion to make it a field goal game. We're going to try a pass here, and it's intercepted. Pete Manning throws just a terrible interception, and UMass is right back in this one. Our defense is in a really precarious situation now. UMass is going to come out throwing the ball, and we're going to close in on him and force a fumble. It's still out, and Peter Latagoski picks it up. What a huge play by the defense after such a terrible interception by our quarterback. The defense bails him out with a huge strip sack there. Unbelievable play. Oh my goodness, Petey McGee is going to get the credit for the sack on that one. We also had Peter Jack in on it there. Huge play by the defense. UMass has no timeouts. It's the other side of the 2-minute warning. It's 3rd down and 3 for the offense. They're going to bring pressure, and he's going to get it out quickly to Juju Johnson, who's going to lose a yard. And we're going to have to punt it back to them, and the defense is going to have to step up again. So it all comes down to this now. 1:15 left on the clock in the 4th quarter. They're going to hit a huge play, and Pete Marks is going to be there to stop them from getting any more yards, but that's a huge play to give up. UMass has so much life right now, and they're going to miss the pass there, thankfully. Just over a minute remaining in this game now. They're going to go with a screen pass. It's not the best pass in the world, and we're able to corral them after a 4-yard gain. 3rd down and 6 in a big spot in this game. And we're going to get the pressure on him again. It's a fumble again, and Peter Jack and Peter Latagoski are in there to make the huge play. 4th down and 20. It comes down to this, and Peter Latikoski is going to get in there again. The sophomore has been absolutely massive, and he makes the play of the game there to seal it for us. And after a tight game that shouldn't really have been that tight, we're able to kneel on it, and we get the absolutely escape of a win, 31-28, and just a unbelievable effort by these guys. Just a lot of things to look at for the Peteytown Piranhas, but ultimately we got the W on the board to begin our season. It wasn't easy, but we got it done. Let's take a breath after that crazy game and look over some of the stats from the 31-28 win. We had 440 total yards to their 371. We also had an effective ground game with 145 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then passing, we had 295 to their 268. Both teams were pretty good on third down, with them getting 6 for 11 and us getting 6 for 10. And then, of course, you had that sequence where each team had a turnover on back-to-back plays, with us getting the better of that because they had it in really good field position, and so getting that strip sack was really big in helping us get this win today. In his debut for us at quarterback, Pete Manning had a bit of an up and down game, but he really showed flashes of being a great quarterback for us. He had 295 yards, 2 touchdowns, and that 1 interception, and he was also sacked 5 times. Pete was absolutely fantastic in this game with 17 carries, 157 yards, and 2 touchdowns, with Juju Johnson spelling him for 8 carries and 24 yards. Receiving-wise, our 2 playmakers really showed out in this one, with Pete Ackler getting 7 catches for 102 yards, while Ray Joseph had 4 catches for 100 yards. And then Bianca Croning added 6 catches for 45 yards and 2 touchdowns in the red zone. We were led in tackles in this one by Peter Eris with 11 tackles and 1 tackle for a loss. The man on the defensive side of the ball was definitely Peter Latikoski with those 4 sacks, which was just absolutely incredible, and he also had a fumble recovery in this one. Peter Jack was right behind him with 2.5 sacks, and Petruchio DeLucchio added his own sack, and then we got half a sack each from Petey McGee and Spider-Man. And Petey Boy was a little shaky on his first field goal attempt, but he managed to get his second one for 30 yards. After that scare from UMass in our first game, we're going to go on the road to number 23 Boston College. They got a 79 overall to our 72, so we're looking at a pretty competitive matchup here, I think, and let's see what we can do. Boston College is going to open up with an RPO, and they get a modest gain there. Boston College is going to do a little read option, and they get us faked out a little bit there, but it sets up a 3rd down and 1. On 3rd down and 1, they're looking at a sneak, and they're able to get their way across the line to extend the drive. A couple of runs get Boston College to 3rd down and 1. They're going to go with a pass, and they hit it quick, and they get it just across the line to keep their drive going. We send 3 here on 1st down, and they're going to hit a guy on a nice little post route to get them into our territory. They're going to go with another pass here, and we're going to close in on him, and Petruchio DeLucchio gets in for the sack from his defensive tackle spot. Petruchio DeLucchio helps us set up a 3rd down and 15 for our defense. We're going to drop back. We bring some pressure again, and he's not going to get away from it, and Pete Mesquite gets in there for a sack to stop their drive cold. We're going to hit a nice RPO pop pass to Bianca Croning to get us a nice gain there on 2nd down. A couple of Pete runs get us to 3rd down and 3. We're going to drop back to pass and fire it quickly, and Victor Snow makes the catch and breaks off a tackle to get a few extra yards there. Coming out in a heavy I formation on 1st down. We're going to hand it off to Juju Johnson, and he's able to get 8 yards. Hand off to Juju Johnson again, and he splits the defense for a 1st down. 3rd down and 8 from the 24-yard line. We're going with an empty formation, and they're going to get pressure right up the middle and take us down for a sack. Petey Boy is going to come out and try a long field goal. And it's a flag, so it doesn't matter if it's in or not. We're going to get a flag on Boston College for roughing our kicker, and they're going to keep our drive alive. After Boston College gave us that gift, we're here on 3rd down and 7. And we're going to drop back to pass. We're going to float one to the end zone, but it's just knocked away. Not really a threat there. Petey Boy is going to come out for another field goal attempt. This one's a lot closer. And he's going to put it up. And he puts it through the uprights to give us a 3-0 lead. Our defense gets Boston College off the field, and we're looking at a 2nd down and 9. We have a guy in motion. We're going to fake it to him. And we're going to hit Pete out of the backfield, and he gets away from their defender to get to the 50-yard line. Pete Manning drops back and fires quickly over there. And we get a 1st down with Bianca Cronin. We hand it off here to Juju Johnson, and he manages to find a little lane and spins his way out of there to get some extra yards to get to right outside their red zone. We hand it off to Pete on a little delayed run, and he manages to split their defense for the touchdown. And we take a 10-0 lead on Boston College. 3rd down and a long one here for Boston College. We're going to drop back to pass and hit their guy quickly over the middle, and we're able to bring him down, but he gets the 1st down. 3rd down and 3, and we're going to bring heavy pressure, and it does not get home, and they get a nice gain out of it, and Pete Mesquite's got to make the safe tackle to keep him from getting anywhere else. 2nd down and 6 for Boston College. They're going to send their guy in a little motion. And he's going to look and find his guy, and he manages to get free for a big gain as they get to our 11-yard line. So we challenged it and actually brought the ball back to their 20-yard line, but Boston College is still threatening here. And they're going to drop back to pass, and we bring a guy right up the middle. It's Peter Cottontail. Out of his sub-linebacker spot, he gets the blitz, and he gets home to take down their quarterback for a big loss. Boston College is feeling frisky. They're going to go for it on 4th down here. It's 4th down and 3. They're looking, and they're going to fire quickly, and their guy just found the soft spot in our zones to get it to the 1-yard line. Another run up the middle, but this time we're not going to get there in time, and Boston College is going to get on the board. After giving up that touchdown, our offense comes on the field, and Pete's got a little gap up the middle to use. We got a trips to the right look. And Pete Manning's going to drop back, survey, and fire it over there to the side. And Bianca Cronin, who's been involved early, gets another catch. Pete Manning fires quickly yet again, and Pete Ackler gets around their defender and gets us some nice yards to get another 1st down. After an incomplete pass, it's 3rd down and 2, but they get the pressure right up the middle as Pete just can't block his guy there. And we're going to have to punt this one away. Boston College couldn't do anything with the ball at the end of the 1st half, but we started the 2nd half with a 3-and-out, and they're taking advantage of that with a run right up the middle to give them 1st down yardage. Again, Boston College is going for it on 4th down. It's 4th down and 2. It's a run, but they managed to open up the hole just big enough for their running back to get through. 1st down and goal. They're going with a double stack formation. And they're going to run around, and he's going to find his guy. He rolls out to the left, and he finds his guy in the end zone, and Boston College is going to take the lead. 3rd down and 4. We really need to keep our drive moving to not let this game get out of hand. And Pete Manning's going to get sacked again as we just have no protection for our guy, and their pass rush has just been all over him today. Dropping back to pass here. They're going to find their guy wide open, and Pete Marks is just not where he needs to be, and Boston College is going to score. And I'm going to have to come in and see if I can get some momentum back for our boys. 1st down. I'm going to throw it out to Pete Ackler to see what he can do with it, and I get a nice little gain with him. Now it's Pete's turn to do a little something with the ball, and he gets the blocking he needs, and a nice block downfield by Pete Ackler springs him free for some extra yards. I'm going to switch the direction of this play, see if we can take advantage of some opportunities over here, and we do. Pete's going to juke that guy out of his shoes, and it's another 1st down for the Piranhas. Going to see if we can get a little cheeky here. And Pete Manning's going to run and get himself hit there. I probably could have just handed it off to our running back on that one. Time to see what Juju Johnson's got up his sleeve, and he's going to get what he needs and get us another first down. It's been working for us, so let's just keep it on the ground here, and Pete's gonna get a nice little 5-yard gain. It's time for our favorite play here. See if we can get Pete Ackler open, and he's wide open, and Pete Ackler can walk into the end zone as the Peteytown Piranhas get a touchdown on the board. Gonna try the same thing just on the other side of the field for our 2-point try. And Pete Ackler's gonna get open again, and we're gonna get it within a field goal now. So I am able to successfully come in and do my job to help the Peteytown Piranhas. A much needed stop by our defense, but on our first play we had a 2-yard loss, but we pick up some extra yards with Pedro O'Toole to make it 3rd and 5. 3rd down and 5 for the Piranhas. We're going to drop back to pass, and we're going to find Pete over the middle of the field, and he gets us the first down we need. We throw it quickly to Pete Ackler, and he gets us a 9-yard gain to make it a 3rd and manageable. 3rd down and 1 for the Piranhas, really hoping we don't give up another sack in this kind of situation. Pete Manning's going to fire it quickly this time, and he's got Ray Joseph for the first down. 2nd down and 10 for the Piranhas on their side of the 50. Pete Manning gets the time he needs, and Pete Ackler makes another catch for a first down. The Piranhas are feeling good after that conversion, and we're on 2nd down and 7. Pete's going to get a carry, and he manages to squeeze his way through on the power O to get the first down. Didn't really have much going on the first 2 downs, so here we are on 3rd down and 10. We're going to hit Bianca Croning for a short gain, and we're going to send out the field goal unit. A lot of noise facing Petey Boy right now as he comes on for this crucial kick. It's up, and it is good. He splits the uprights in a pressure situation, so nice job by our guy there. So we managed to tie the game up at 21-21. Boston College is going to float one out there, and their guy comes running under it to make the first down. 2nd down and 2. They're going to send a guy in motion and do a jet touch pass, and nobody's there to bring him down, and he's got a whole lot of screen grass in front of him. Everybody is out of position. Peter Eris can't run him down, and Boston College is going to take the 28-21 lead. Oh my God, just a complete breakdown on defense there for the Piranhas. The blocks lined up for Boston College, and they managed to get a big gain on us for the touchdown. And I'm going to have to come in again and see if I can do anything about this. I'm going to send Victor Snow on a streak, but it looks like the computer kind of knows what I'm trying there. And Ray Joseph is there for a 3-yard gain. Pete Ackler is there, as he has been down the stretch here, for another first down. New set of downs. We're going to see if we can hit Juju Johnson. And he does hang on for the short gain. Victor Snow gets himself wide open, but they mark it a little short. Come on, Bianca, hear me, please. I think he did. I'm going to float it up to him. Bianca Croning is going to make the catch, and we're going to get into the end zone. Boston College came out in a heavy goal line formation that I saw, so I was able to get the streak out there to Bianca Croning, and Bianca takes full advantage for the big touchdown, and the Piranhas are going to tie this game right back up. Bianca Croning just runs under the ball on a beautiful throw from Pete Manning, and their linebacker is out there with absolutely no answer on that one. So very exciting play to tie this game up for the Piranhas. The only problem is I did leave a lot of time for Boston College to respond, and they're going to do that with a wide open halfback. Peter Eris actually makes a nice tackle in the open field there. Boston College is going to throw again, and they've been killing us with those short out routes. They're going to do a little play action fake here. Nobody's able to get home, and they find another guy wide open, and Peter Lightning brings him down. From the 45, Boston College is threatening, and we almost get him down for a sack, but they get their running back. Another pass play here for Boston College. They throw it quickly on a corner route, and their receiver is wide open. Just over a minute left. Boston College is threatening once again. They hand it off to their running back, but Pete Mesquite brings him down. I'd expect them to keep it on the ground once again to make us burn our last timeout. And they're going to keep it. They're going to toss it out to their guy in the flat, but we're there to bring him down. 3rd down and goal with 54 seconds left in the game. Boston College is going to point out some things. They're going to roll out. We're going to see what they got. We almost picked that off. Pete Mesquite read it. He almost picked that off. That would have been such a huge play. Boston College comes out for the field goal attempt, and they're going to put it through. Oh my God, that would have been such a great play if we could have hung on to that ball, but just wasn't to be. So just like I left a lot of time on the clock after the score, Boston College does leave us a little bit of time to see if we can get into field goal range. And we're going to drop the first pass. 2nd down and 10. We're going to hit Bianca Croning, and they're going to get a 1st down. Thankfully, we get the stoppage of the clock so we can get up there and try to do something with it. We're going to spike the ball. 30 seconds left from the 31-yard line. Pete Manning's going to drop back to pass. He's going to hit Pete over the middle, and he jukes his way to another 1st down, and we're going to come and do another spike. Now it's 21 seconds left on the clock. Pete Manning's feeling the pressure. He's going to get it out to Bianca Croning, who gets it to their 40-yard line. We got to run. We got to go quickly and spike this ball again. From the 40-yard line, we're just outside of field goal range. We still need some more yards to make it a comfortable. And Bianca Croning's going to get it again and get another 1st down. We got to spike the ball now. It's just a spike and a field goal attempt. No, just don't play around with it. Spike the ball. Spike, and he gets the spike off with 2 seconds left. Boston College try to ice our kicker. Petey Boy's coming out here with a lot of pressure on him now. He's going to send the kick. It's a slow-mo cam, and it looks good. He splits the uprights, and the Peteytown Piranhas are going to force overtime against Boston College. Boston College won the coin toss, so we're going to come out here on offense first. Pete Manning's going to look. He's going to fire, and he's going to find Pedro O'Toole wide open to get us to the 6-yard line. 1st down and goal for the Piranhas. We're going to drop back again and fire quickly, but there's no room for Ray Joseph. From the 4-yard line, we're going to keep it. Pete Manning's going to toss it out to Bianca Croning, who walks into the end zone for the go-ahead touchdown. Now Boston College is feeling the pressure after that Bianca Croning touchdown. They're going to send their running back in motion. And they're going to hit their guy over the middle. He breaks a tackle from our linebacker, but Anthony Kaufman cleans it up. 2nd down and 5. We're bringing some pressure. It gets into his face, but he's not phased as he makes the completion. From the 7-yard line, they're going to have 4 opportunities if they need them now to try to punch this into the end zone. And not really feeling the pressure, but he gets it out there and gets him a few yards. And they fire out to their running back, who reaches the ball over the goal line, and they tie up the game. Boston College starts 2nd overtime with the ball now. And they're going to do a little delayed draw, and we managed to hit them down. 2nd down and 7 for Boston College. They're going to do a little play-action boot play, and they're going to find their guy again, and our pass defense just isn't really doing that great today. They're going to run it straight up the middle, and just absolutely no resistance from the Piranhas, but they do have to go for 2 here in 2nd overtime. On the 2-point conversion, Boston College is going to send a guy in motion. And they're going to try a run up the middle, but we're able to stuff the 2-point conversion. The Piranhas know what they're facing here now, as we got to score a touchdown and get the 2-point conversion. Pete Manning's hit on the first play. On 2nd down, we're going to fire it out quickly. Oh my God, that was a one-handed catch from Pedro O'Toole, and he gets us a 1st down. Holy moly. After that sensational catch from Pedro O'Toole, we're coming out here, and we're looking to get sacked again. Oh my God, this pass rush is just killing us. when we can't have that happening right now. After that brutal sack, we're here on 2nd down and 18. Pete Manning's going to drop back, and the pressure's there again, and we give up another sack. Are you kidding me? 6 sacks by Boston College. We just can't keep them off of our quarterback. It's 3rd down and forever here. Pete Manning's dropping back. This time he actually gets some time. Pete Ackler makes a big play, and he gets us 23 yards on that. It's 4th down and 3 for the Peteytown Piranhas. It's do or die here. We got a guy in motion. We're going to throw it out to him. Bianca Cronin gets around him, and he gets it to the 1-yard line. What a play. The Piranhas have life again after we thought they might be dead after those 2 brutal sacks. And we hit Ray Joseph for the touchdown. A great play by Ray Joseph. He got enough separation, and Pete Manning hit him for the touchdown. Here we go. It's the 2-point conversion now. If we get this, we can walk out of here with a win. We're going to throw it. Pete Ackler's open. He stays in bounds, and he gets the 2-point conversion. And the Peteytown Piranhas have taken down the number 23 team in the nation, the Boston College Eagles. And that is the first time the Peteytown Piranhas have beaten a ranked opponent on what was an absolutely incredible game to watch. It was a complete shootout. There was just defense optional in this game. But the Peteytown Piranhas managed to survive with a win, a big win at that. Bianca Cronin was absolutely fantastic in this game, and wow, what a game. I can't wait to go over the stats for this one, but unbelievable effort by our guys today. Everyone take a collective breath after that one. That was an absolute barn burner of a game. 46-44 over Boston College. We had 456 yards to their 502 yards. Running game was pretty decent. We had 80 yards to their 62. For passing, we had 376 yards, which you're like, oh, that's great, but we also gave up 440 passing yards, so we probably got to look into making some changes there to try to boost our passing defense. 3rd down-wise, we were 4 of 11 while they were 6 of 12, so hopefully we can get a little better on that, but the sacks just were devastating in that regard. And it was a clean game from both teams as there was no turnovers in the game. How about sophomore quarterback Pete Manning? In a game where we needed everything from him, he gave us all of it, with 376 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And the 6 sacks were a problem, but I think it's more of a scheme issue and an offensive line issue than a Pete Manning issue. But what I'm really impressed by was that he got sacked so many times, but just kept coming back and making throws that he needed to. So I'm so extremely proud of our quarterback in this one. And Pete had himself a nice day as well, with 15 carries and 86 yards and 1 touchdown. And Juju Johnson came in to spell him with 6 carries and 36 yards. What an absolute legendary game from Bianca Cronin with 12 catches, 153 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And followed that up with Pete Ackler, who had 7 catches, 89 yards, and 1 touchdown, just making a lot of clutch catches for us for first downs and kept drives alive. And I can't say it was a very impressive day for our defense, but some standouts on the game were Peter Cottontail with 14 tackles and 1 tackle for a loss. Peter Cottontail also added 1 sack, while Pete Mesquite and Petruchio DeLucchio also had 1 sack each. And how about our guy, Petey Boy? He made all 3 of his field goals with a long of 47, including that clutch kick that put us into overtime in the first place. What a great job by our kicker. So that'll be all for this episode. What a way to end this episode with that thriller against Boston College. In our next episode, we'll be taking on an FCS team, and then we'll be entering Conference USA play. I'll see you guys in the next video.